Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm back, your movie guru, with another review. This time I'm going to be bringing you all something that I don't normally do. We're gonna try it out this time and see if I like it, and if I do, then and based on you guys' engagement, then I might do this more often. But I'm actually going to be reviewing this time a series. And I've decided to do this because unless you've been living under a rock for the past 3 weeks or so, then you've heard of Squid Games. So Squid Games is Netflix's biggest show right now. It's on pace to actually become one of Netflix's biggest shows ever, possibly even the biggest show ever for Netflix. And if you've been online, if you've been having conversations with coworkers, people at college, and in many different walks of life, you will have heard people talk about it. They will have recommended it to you, or you have seen memes, references that you didn't know what was going on, and they're all about Squid Games. It's a lot to unpack, and I'll tell you right from the bat, I gave the entire series an 8.5 out of 10. It's 9 episodes long. I didn't try and binge it all in one like I know some people like to do. I tried to spread it out over a week or so that way that I could really kind of digest every episode and take it in and, you know, kind of savor it and build up excitement for seeing the next one. Really, I'd say that it has everything that you want in a series. So I'm not going to try and give away too many spoilers or anything here. There might be a little something that I have to mention just to explain a broader point, but I'll try not to give away anything too big. But if you haven't seen it, you don't know anything about it, I'm not giving too much away. It's basically a group of people, and these are all people that are in debt or have, they're down on their luck. They're not very financially sound. They've all got some type of monetary issue and or, on the run from the law or some other problem, something of that nature. And so they decide to be a part of this clandestine game where you compete against other people to get a cash prize at the end. However, much like if you ever seen Battle Royale or Hunger Games, these games are violent and can lead in your death. That's just the basic premise. And if it doesn't go any deeper than that, then the series is entertaining. So just from that level, it's entertaining. And I like to say, if I'm mixing it with movies, it most reminds me of like if you had the Battle Royale violent survival game type movie, and then you mixed it in with Escape Room, where it is violent and you can die, but there's also things that you have to figure out. It's kind of got that puzzle aspect to it. So that it reminds me of both of those movies. So if you threw those together and then you added in, what you expect to see from a series. So as far as, characters that you resonate with, that's really the biggest thing. If you don't resonate with the characters, it's hard for you to get invested and really care what happens, especially when you're only doing this over one season, right? So this isn't, season 5 of something where you had all this time to build up these characters. And so if they die or something happens to them, then, you have this big emotional feeling. All these characters you're meeting and learning about them just through this first season so far. So it does a good job of showing you enough and having the right circumstances to where you do feel for the characters. So it has that aspect, you know, it has, you know, the good guy and the villain, and several different subplots going on to keep things exciting. So it's got the main thing that's going on, but then it's got a couple of these, you know, side quests going on here and there so it keeps you wondering, okay, I know what's going on in the main story, but I want to know what's going on with these two things. And then it's also got a few twists and turns, not something that where you're going to be like, wow, I'm so shocked, or I can't believe that happened. But it is enough twists and turns every now and then so that it's not completely predictable. You know, as far as character development and these type of characters, you know, it's no one that I saw that was really so unique in that, oh, I've never seen this type of character played in this in a TV show or a film before. But there are enough subtle nuances in things, like I said, to keep it interesting. So I thought they did a good job of that as well. And then from the first episode in, you're completely hooked until the end. And I can't remember ever there being a dull moment where I'm, okay, wow, I'm ready for this episode to be over. You're definitely invested from the beginning to the end. So we've got the entertainment, you know, we've got you resonating with the characters. And then the biggest thing, one of the biggest things as well is you want to have a good ending. So whether the ending sets up the next season or whether it's a standalone season, you want there to be satisfying. You want it to be, okay, I've chosen to invest my time in this. I want there to be a good payoff at the end. You know, I don't want to get to the end and think about, okay, wow, was all that really worth it? And then call into question everything else that happened, even if you really enjoyed the ride. Talking about you, Lost, but we're not going to get into that. But so satisfying ending, very entertaining throughout, and you resonate with the characters. If it just did that, I would say that it did its job. And it's become a cultural sensation. Like I said, it's absolutely everywhere. You're going to see people dressing up as these characters that you see in the series for Halloween and everything else. And I definitely think it's going to be a staple and talked about series, you know, for quite some time. But it goes actually beyond that. So remember I said I compare it to movies like Battle Royale, Hunger Games, and Escape Room. So as far as that survival game aspect, but it also has an overarching story that's not really too hard to see, but it's not, you know, I'd say extremely heavy-handed either. So much like movies like Snowpiercer and Parasite, it is a pretty harsh critique of capitalism. And if not capitalism as a whole, definitely late-stage capitalism, and at least, if not a criticism of capitalism entirely, it definitely shows to portray some of the negative effects that capitalism can have on a society or certain members of a society. So it makes that abundantly clear in what you can see from the people playing the games and how the game was devised, and the people that see the games that, you know, aren't a part of it, but the people that set it up. And it shows this to you over and over and over with the players, and then the people outside the game as well. It makes this point clear to you. You know what it shows its message about capitalism, and it lets you know, hey, you know, this is a major theme of this. But even with that, I'd say this is a series that really made me feel that And I say it takes a good series or a good film to do this, where it being produced as South Korean, I had to watch it with subtitles. You're going to have to watch it with subtitles, but definitely recommend the subtitles. Don't watch the dub version. Or if you're going to do the subtitles, don't use the English closed caption, because the closed caption is just it's going to have the words on the screen from the dub, and not the regular English translation is closer. So I've been told. I don't speak Korean, but I've been told that it's better than the obviously better than dub, but then the English closed caption as well. But I say that to say this is a truly great series. Having you want to know more about the source material. And after having seen this, I wanted to know more about it and to understand some more of the themes. So if you don't live in South Korea or North Korea or near that region, there are going to be things about this, or, if you don't have family in that area, you didn't come from that area, there's going to be things about this film that you're going to miss, that you're not going to understand. It's not going to mean the same to you. Reading about it, I learned about some of the subtext as far as the main character. Mild spoiler here, but not really. You'll learn that he used to work in a factory. And if you didn't know anything about South Korea, then you would know that one of the points that the director was trying to make is he's indicative of a class and a problem that's going on in South Korea right now, where you've got a lot of people that were in certain industries that are now having a tough time trying to work. And poverty, and this is all what I've read, I don't know any of this firsthand, but apparently poverty is a real stigma over there. For people that are poor, it's shameful, or, if you don't have as much money as others, and you don't have a certain status as others. And one of the big tenets, other than capitalism, it's trying to display in this, in the series is, obviously it's, it's over the top and it's satire, but it's, this is, how we're making this part of society feel, is that they would actually go to these lengths to get out of the situations that they're in and not have to face, a society and where they're less than. And, that's just one of the things that, because, I don't know anything about South Korea. I have visited there. I've been there once, not for an extended period of time, but not knowing, the current political climate in South Korea and North Korea, there's a lot of things that you're going to miss. And I'd say that's, to me, is one of the biggest takeaways of whether a series is great or whether it's just, flash in the pan for whatever reason. It caught the interest and, excitement of a lot of people. That message, I think, it's what's going to cause us to stay, is because it's not just something that this person made in a vacuum and, brought to life. It's not completely, just this big fantasy. No, it's rooted in real world situations that is going on that people over there definitely identify with. But, just part of being a part of the human condition, and especially living in a capitalist society today, there are going to be some parts of that resonate with you, and whether you agree with it or not, it's going to be things that you understand and can identify with. And that's why I truly think that this is something that's going to leave a lasting imprint. I think 10, 15, 20 years from now, people will still be talking about, obviously it's not going to have the same impact that it's having now, but people will still make Squid Games reference, or, something, reference something that happened in the movie, or, you might see a throwback, somebody dressed up as Halloween still as, some character from Squid Games. I think that films that, or in this case, a series that can excite, but then also has that deeper meaning. Not saying that this is, so deep and so has all these allegories and you need a magnifying glass and a searchlight to uncover everything. Not saying that, but just that it has something that you can resonate with. It has a good underlying meaning to it, and it absolutely delivers on the story. So I give it an 8.5 out of 10. This is something that I'd love to hear some discussion on. Let me hear your opinion. If you haven't seen it, I'd say absolutely go and watch this. It's becoming to the point where, one, you either have to watch it, you have to decide to watch it soon or get off the internet, because eventually it's going to get spoiled for you if you don't watch it soon enough, because people just won't stop talking about it. And two, I'd say you have to watch it just because it's becoming such a big thing that there are just going to be references and things that people are going to say from now on that you're not going to understand unless you've seen it. Even if I say this a lot to people who haven't seen a lot of movies, a lot of movies that other people haven't seen, even if you don't like them, there were movies that I'd recommend to people that, get quoted all the time, even still to this day, movies like Caddyshack or Super Troopers, Ghostbusters. There are things that people still say to this day and that you will have heard for 10 years or in casual conversation, and you will have never known where that came from. But when you see that movie, it all makes sense. And I think this is going to be, at least for the short-term foreseeable future, this is something that you're going to be seeing a lot of in regular conversation. And so if nothing else, just to be in and understand what people are talking about and be part of that greater discussion, I'd say it's worth watching. It's only 9 episodes. I can't see how you wouldn't be entertained unless you do not like gory. I say it's definitely not for kids. Definitely adult themes. It is gory. It has its gory parts. I wouldn't say that it's gratuitous. There are a lot of scenes that I saw that it could have been worse, and you see how they could have made it worse. They could have shown, in much more detail, and they didn't, and there were parts where they cut away and they could have showed it. So it's not gratuitous, and, I don't think it was without purpose. The fact that, they did this over the pretext of the games that these people played were children's games that you played as a kid. That was something that had a big, there's a big reason why children's games were chosen. There's a big part of the speech at the end, which I'm not going to spoil, about the meaning of it all. Definitely a lot to unpack. And I'd say it's well worth your time. It's one of the better series that I've seen recently. I'd say it's definitely the best series that I've seen, assuming that there's no season 2, since the last season or the last series that I finished up in total, I'd say was Chernobyl. I'd say Chernobyl was a little bit better, but 8.5 out of 10. I think this is really well done, really worth your time. Only 9 episodes, cultural phenomenon. Go check it out. I would love to hear discussion on this one. Someone hit me up in the comments. If you loved it, if you hated it, if you want to talk more about the themes, especially 100%, especially if you're from South Korea or somewhere in that area and you know more about either what the director was trying to say with certain things, or if you know more about, hey, the English version of it was translated this way. There are a lot of parts that, you missed out on because a closer meaning to what they were saying was actually this. Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Very entertaining. It's a wild ride. And series like these that become cultural phenomenons, half the great thing about them is the discussion that you can have with your friends and the sense of community that it brings, in that you don't see too much anymore because everyone can binge and watch things on their own time. It's not like it used to be before with sitcoms. It came on TV, network sitcoms. It came on TV at a certain day at a certain time. That's something that we've really gotten away from. So you don't really have the community aspect of, oh, hey, did you see the new episode of, whatever last night? Because everyone watches things on their own time. So when you've got something like this that becomes a cultural phenomenon, half the excitement is that everyone that you can, you go out and talk to, they all have heard of it, or, they're thinking about seeing it, and you can all kind of experience that sense of community together. So hit me up on this one. Want to know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. If you guys like this, if you want me to review more series, if you want me to stick to movies, let me know. Write me in the comments. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for your support.